This is Haley Petrie, and this is my audience.
Lexi. Hi, Nicole.
Kelly. Hunter.
Since I was little, I've been fascinated with animals. I would collect toads and insects and put them in cages, and then later on release them after an hour. I also wanted to be a farmer when I was younger, not because of the plants they work with, but because I knew they worked with animals, such as the old nursery rhyme, Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Now, you may be wondering, why would you want to listen to a career about a zoologist? Well, career paths can always change, and even if you don't think you want to become a zoologist, it's always good to know what exactly they do and what it is, and information about them so you can be absolutely 100% sure you don't want to be a zoologist. You could add it on to your career list if you do. Now, most of the information I gathered and portray in here can be confirmed by government resources. I'll go over what a zoologist does, how to become one, and what the future of this career path looks like. Now, what exactly is a zoologist? Well, you might be familiar with the term biologist. And even though a zoologist isn't quite a zoologist, they're very similar, because a biologist works with animals, plants, and organisms, and a zoologist just focuses on the animal aspect of that career path. As the slide reads, a zoologist is a scientist that specializes and studies a wide range or specific animal species. They discover the information on them and then educate others on it. So we know what a zoologist is, but what do they do? Now, most of my slides, and including this one, can be confirmed by multiple of my sources, and they piggyback off of each other. But to sum up the points on here, a zoologist will collect information on their specimen through observation, experiments, and general research. Then they will collect all of their information and put it into a comprehensive work for the public and other people in the field to see. Not only do zoologists have to work with animals, they also have to work with people. Because in order to help animals, and many other things, such as many other things, there needs to be awareness. So the general public needs to be aware of how to help animals and avoid endangering them. So we know what a zoologist is and what they do, but how do you become one? Well, if we focus on the education aspect, the very minimum degree you need in order to become a zoologist is a bachelor's degree, which is an undergraduate's degree. In order to get a more higher paying zoologist job, you'll need a graduate level degree, such as a doctorate. You could also major in more closely related fields in order to become a zoologist, such as these two tabs down here, which I got from What Does a Biologist Do? You could take courses in biology, anatomy, physiology, animal husbandry, veterinarian science. Those are a couple of those courses. You also need not just education to become a zoologist, but important characteristics. As information I got from BLS.gov, and to sum up this, you'd have to have good communication skills, or people skills, because you need to be able to charm people and properly convey what you mean to other people in your field and the general public. You'll also need good mental strength, because you'll have to withstand emotional torment, because you have to be away from people for long periods of time. And you also have to be able to do well mental gymnastics, because you need a sharp mind in order to make observations and experiments and draw conclusions from that. Lastly, you'll have to know how to apply all the knowledge in your mind that you've collected out into the real world. So we know what a zoologist is and how to become one, but what does the future of this career path look like? Well, as I gathered from ZipRecruiter, here are some of the lowest to the highest annual salary a zoologist can make. Now, if we look at the average annual salary, it's $53,825. That's about an average salary for a worker. If we look at the job outlook for a zoologist, as stated from BLS.gov, employment of a zoologist and wildlife biologist is projected to show little or no change from 2021 to 2031. And what this means is there's going to be about as many people going in the workforce as about as many people going out of the workforce in this field. Now, some opportunities for advancements within this field, if you don't end up liking it or if you want a bit of a different aspect of this job, is an environmental scientist and specialist, a veterinarian, and a post-secondary teacher. And so you know I'm not lying about a zoologist being an actual career path. I said, here's some job applications that I found. A wildlife biologist, you might be thinking, that's not a zoologist. It is, it's just a different name. But here's an actual job application with a literal name if you want to be 100% sure, a senior zoologist. So, to review, we know what a zoologist is and what they do, the education and training required to become one, and lastly, once you get the job, what the payment could be, outlook, and what other job opportunities a zoologist experience could lead to. Now that you know more about this job, you can have check this off or put this into a possible career path you may want. I have to introduce my audience one more time. Lexi.
Nicole.
Kelly. Hunter.
Thank you.